Hello, my friends. Another video to put out for you today. Don't normally do as many, but gosh, we're just figuring things out with this new loop and the new ship and the new hostels and the armadas. So we'll probably be putting out a lot of videos. At least I will try to do so. So I want to talk a little bit about the research. Let's hop in, let's talk about that. But let's also talk about the solar armadas. I'm not in this video going to talk about the group armadas, but man, these armadas seem to pack a punch. So let's hop into it. Let's talk about it because the players matter. All right, here we are in game. Let's go ahead and hop out. Actually, let's start by looking at the research. I think that there's some good research here, but there's stuff that from a ship standpoint, I would focus on first off. So, oops, I don't want the combat tree. I want the starship tree. Too many trees. Need a search function or something. Okay. So of all the research here, I think the thing that you're going to want to focus on, you're going to want to focus on a couple of things here. One is this warp range. In order to get the ship where you need to go, it seems to do really well against the hostiles, but you might want to think about the warp range research that you have as a skill from Fleet Commander Kirk. You might also want to think of adding an officer such as Grush on, as an officer to give you that extra warp range boost until you can get it leveled up enough. In my last videos, I couldn't get it very far, but I think if you think about those things, then that will really help you. Okay, there's obviously some stuff here that's going to help with some efficiencies. If it were me, I would focus first on the warp range, and then I would make sure that you get this research as much as you can, at least tier 1 or level 1. But look, it's a 600% boost to the Borg type 03 solar armada. So the solar armadas you're doing, you're going to get all the way up to 10,000%. You have to do some of these first ones. I think I had to do chaos theory before it would let me do the research we just looked at there. So those are the two I would look at. There's obviously other good stuff here, like I said, for research, and then G6 stuff, this benevolence of Q, but I mean, you have to get it up to tier 5, right? That's where we need it to be. And so get the warp range so you can get where you need to go, and then get this research so you can get enough for your turn-ins. Okay, I can't show you the amount for my turn-ins right now. I think it was 1,500 for a single turn-in, but it won't let me because I claimed it. So we won't talk about the poly exchange. So these are for the group armadas. We'll probably see those in a couple of days when people are able to start launching those for the event. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in here that's worth mentioning. Probably not for this video. Just wanted to kind of have a short video that goes to the point. Couple things I want to mention just as a reminder. Let's scroll out here. So these armadas are going to be, whoops, up here. Okay, so we're just to kind of the west of the Federation space right here. So I was doing some armadas in a previous video and just got smacked down, but I've recently discovered why, and I want to share that with you. So let's first talk about the armadas. See if it will let me just look in that system. I parked my NX01 in another system so we can look at it. But once again, I'm not going to look specifically at these polygon armadas, but these Borg type, these solo armadas. Okay, so let's look at their abilities here. Defense Protocol A. On the second weapon of every round, the Borg type 03 fires its cutting beam, dealing lethal damage to enemy ships. So it's going to do a lot of damage. You want to take it out quick. Q Junior, 3 ships versus 1. Seemed like a low risk situation, independent. Let's see how well you perform under a little more pressure. 1v1. Okay, so not too bad. But here's what you need to watch out for, okay? So off of the main path here, they have these other systems like this Necro 44, this Horolus off of Brickler. Let's go ahead and let's hop in there and I'll show you. Man, this is why I was losing so bad. Okay, so I think we have the same thing here. Okay, 1v1, but here is the real catch. Not only it's got protocol A, but this protocol B at the combat start increases its apex barrier by 30,000. Oh my goodness, hot dog, right there. Okay, so what's the difference? Well, if we look at the rewards, it's 478 here. And if we pop over to here, it's 118. 118. So what's that? More than 4 times the rewards. So you can get a lot more rewards by doing one solo if you can beat those harder targets. But they've got 30,000 apex barrier. That is going to just stop your damage like crazy. So let's look at those. I did launch, I thought, oh, I saw, and this is a shout out to Zach in my Discord. We've been chatting about this today. So big shout out to you, Zach. Thanks for helping me kind of talk through some of this. And I shared this with him and he was like, holy crap. But this is why I was losing. So this first one that I lost, let's go to the battle log and see if I lasted very long at all. So I'm doing, it's hard to tell here because I did a 50, so there's a lot more damage, but 1,000 million billion, 10 billion damage, not getting a whole lot through. How much was getting through here? Let's look. We've got 486 million, 73 million, 400 million. But look, it's apex barrier stopping, what, like half of that damage right there? Let's see here. It mitigated 900,000. I said half. That's just because it's about twice of what that was. But it's stopping a lot of that damage. So the apex barrier is doing huge benefits to that armada. Let's see if we can look at the other target. Okay. No apex barrier, no apex barrier, no apex barrier at all. I don't know if it shouldn't trigger anything because it doesn't have that ability, I would think, and it doesn't look like it has any natural kind of abilities for that. So that 30,000 apex barrier is spicy. What can I say? It's crazy, okay? So the crew I use, I got from Zach. I think it's a great crew. What you're thinking about is this is partial loop, but partially doubling the shots. 30% chance to increase base weapon shots by 100% every round. She's great if you have her unlocked. You also have Miles O'Brien, who's increasing the shots. So hopefully yours is maxed. And then the Maquis Strike from Chakotay increases the critical hit chance of your ship by whatever percent that you have him tiered to. So you want to think of officers like that are going to do a lot of damage, do critical damage. You could consider using officers like Benjamin Sisko, who has mitigation as well as critical shots. You could throw Khan on there. I'm just trying to throw out ideas here for you all because it will depend upon your level and what you've been able to unlock depending upon your ops level. You might think of solo officers maybe like Jadzia Dax or Julian Bashir, just some good options there. So you just want to think of officers that are going to do a lot of damage, do it quickly before these armadas have a chance to fire off. So it's going to take some testing to kind of look at things, but I think you want to look at the research. You want to make sure that you're getting as much loot as you can for each of these targets that you're taking out, but you also want to do your best to make sure that that you're doing a lot of damage quickly to take these targets out. So hopefully this information is helpful. Feel free to leave your comments below. I'd love to hear from you all on if you've had any success with different crews taking out these armada targets, or if you have any strategies for taking out those bigger targets it's going to take some testing, I think, on my end and the community's end to kind of figure out what's going to work the best for taking those bigger targets to get the more loot. But for me, this crew worked really well. Was able to take out the target. I barely took out the target. One other thing I probably should mention is don't forget that you can use buffs if you want to make sure you're going to beat it. Think about the Cerritos, think about the Titan, those kind of ships. You can also think about exocomps. So ultimately, you just want to be able to get enough loot so that you can do your turn-ins, because it's the turn-ins that are going to translate into ship parts that are going to make your ship stronger. It's going to relate to you being able to do more of the research, to get more of that loot bonus or more of the other efficiencies that are there. But once again, with the research, I would focus on getting as much of that loot bonus as you can. The efficiencies will be nice, but looking quickly at them, the efficiencies seem like they don't specifically apply to this specifically. Is going to help you be more efficient with upgrading your station and doing research and stuff like that. I think the best bet off the bat is going to be focusing on investing in your ship and its ability to get more of that loot in a shorter amount of time, so you can be as efficient as possible with progressing through this loop. So anyways, hopefully that's helpful. Leave any comments down below, and we will talk to you next time.